Welcome back to the Gym Owners Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Stone. Over there's John Fairbanks. How you doing, John?
I'm doing wonderful, Tyler.
Guys, I've been in the fucking Facebook and Instagram algorithm vortex bad. I don't know how you gym owners deal with this. We do enough research. We end up out on enough pages. So, like, I think you see some stuff and you end up in a, how do I describe this? You like get swept away by the tide of absolute just dumbass predatory marketing stuff that's directed at gym owners, and it's pretty fucking crazy out there. If this is what you guys are dealing with on a regular basis, props to you for not like lashing out. Like, so I've been getting these constant stuff. John and I now it's like a running bit, which I suppose is engagement on the content, which is why I see more of it. But it's been a running bit now of screenshotting like the scammiest, dumbest, lamest, most unrealistic claims that are made like right up in the front when they're advertising to when these consulting, I don't know what you call these consulting for whatever, these gym business
ads farms.
basically ad farm. I have no fucking clue what they are. Lead farms. But like this is pretty crazy. So now I see so many of them and there's so many claims. We saw one of them, John. Was it like 150 to 200 new members within like 6 weeks or something like this? Guys, if that works, you should do that. I mean, even take the good with the bad. Like, who cares? Like, you guys should definitely do that. But it's just such bull. It's, you know what I mean? This is all these like 50 members in 30 days or 75 members with our new AI strategy stuff. All that stuff is the exact same marketing strategy to you that they use for like bigger dick pills on porn websites. It's the same thing. You're like, there's no way this pill will give me an extra 4 inches, but they say it. So I mean, like people are buying that stuff, I guess, right? And I guess gym owners are pulling the trigger on this stuff. I guess, I don't know. It's hard to say,
right? It has to be. But any
But
notion that it's going to rescue your
who's buying extends on the internet either? I have no fucking, but somebody is. And so, man, it's been. And now, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this. If you screenshot a photo, like on your phone, like within an app, all of these apps now have that external permission. So it used to be on Facebook or Instagram or Reddit or whatever, where if I just screenshotted, the fucking app didn't know that I screenshotted that content, right? It's just me my right to screenshot my phone. That's all changed over the last probably year. In the last 6 months, it's sped up even more to where if you screenshot something like on Reddit, like a meme or something like that, it'll pop up underneath it and it'll say, hey, looks like you're trying to share this. Maybe it'd be better if you shared it as a post or shared it. Like it knows. So, but what I'm saying is that acts as another form of engagement that the algorithm is factoring in. You understand that? So it used to be just likes, right? A like was a vote. A like was a vote where you engage in this content. We're factoring this in. Then comments were high value. Then it became sending something to somebody. Now that's like this entirely new category of engagement that the algorithm is factoring in. Sending a reel to a guy in a DM, it knows what content you're sending to people, who those people are. So the algorithm continues to grow and grow and grow and grow in its data set. And now it's gotten to saves. Now that you can save posts, save reels, it's the same thing. So it's gotten to that point now where that's an entirely different vote. It's not an external vote about I like this. I'm showing the person who made it I like it. I save shit that I don't even click the heart button on. Shit, I save shit I don't even like, to be honest with you. But that's another function now that the algorithm starts to factor into this all. And now screenshotting is another one, which is really, it's an interesting development. Now, anything you screenshot on Facebook or whatever, it knows it just like you click like or click save. It is now like, all right, well, this motherfucker might not be trying to say anything or do anything, engage with us on this, but he really is about this content one way or another.
Well, how about what we ran into earlier this week where it was my wife sent me a screenshot of something she saw on her feed. I then sent that to you, just the screenshot on a separate app, on like a third-party communication app, and just said, like, isn't this some shit? And then you on your algorithm sees the real post. So
Yep.
it's not even like I didn't share a link with you. I just shared a screenshot that my wife had seen that she took in a separate
And
app. And then within the algorithm, it showed you the real post. Like,
within
holy shit.
3 hours, dude, and it's like,
Uh-huh.
I don't live near that. It was a basically like a I won't get into the details, but it was just really trying to make me wanna not fat shame, but be enraged by this situation, and it was put in front
Yep.
of me, and it's like, there's no purpose demographically. I don't like that sports. I don't like it. All I don't like any of it, and it's not
Right.
anywhere near me. It's none of my business altogether. And it's like, Tyler, do you want to freak the fuck out about this? And it was crazy. It's
When you're
crazy. Like
getting
it's
mad.
that's a local article from somewhere so far away from me. And it is.
Yep.
It's just like, all right, this is stirring the pot. Let's put it in front of people. But guys, I guess that's the algorithm side of this that we're just bitching about as that continues to develop. But I want you guys to know that we're seeing what you're seeing out there, I assume. And it's fucking crazy. And I understand why you guys are like, why gym owners are, their guard is up whenever anyone's offering business help or even wants to talk to them about their business. Because if this is the shit you're dealing with regularly, that's crazy. It's, I mean, there is claims that are being made that not only are probably not possible, but they like would be detrimental to your business. There's just no way that you can get 150 new members in the next 150 to 200 new members in the next 30 days or whatever, and have that not absolutely break your shit completely. Like you shouldn't even want that. I can't imagine. And so, but this stuff that's hitting you guys is now we get it. I've always understood that this game was like kind of a shady game, but when we did a lot of outreach and we messaged gym owners like, hey, we got this show, we're doing it like genuinely, right? Like, hey, we got
Right.
this show, we get it. And you'll see like you just get flat out ignored kind of a lot. And I get that cold marketing is that's the nature of it. But it is really interesting trying to break through that because you as a fitness professional should know as much as your guard is up about this, all these fucking marketing scams that are getting put in front of you, your client's guard is up already because this type of scammy behavior was already targeted at the consumer first, right?
Right.
The fitness industry, these marketing backed fitness industry folks have already been pretty predatory. They've already made crazy, lavish claims that are lies. They've already allowed your Herbalifes of the world and all this other shit to come through. And now there's fail safes in place. Like you can't even, there's a reason I can't run ads on Facebook for like my online training program. I just can't do it. There's nowhere to send them to because you cannot post about weight loss and run an ad behind it. It's not a fucking option. You can't use those words. You can't, it's just not really an option that you can do. And if you guys have ever tried running ads, like there's some interesting word games you got to play. That's why right now when people are marketing for gyms or fitness, what is it? Challenges. That's what's marketed
Right.
to the consumers because it's a challenge that you're doing. And they don't mention
Transformation.
transformations that we're selling they're not, they cannot. And by the way, that'll catch up to them as well.
Oh yeah.
So we have already, by allowing that stuff to happen through our businesses, we have already like pissed in the pool. And now we're swimming in it. And now there's a lot of piss, dude.
There's a lot less water. Yeah, now
Yeah,
it's just a big thing of piss.
yeah. It's just a pool of piss right now. And it's pretty nuts, dude. This is but these are not like let's get into the nitty-gritty because there's some other tactics here that we think we've seen that have been around for a long time. And it's not just what's old, it's new, it's the fundamental nature of a lot of these ads are just some basic old school shit. So we're going to get into this right now, not just the ads, but some of these tactics. Before we get started, make sure you follow the show on Instagram at the Gym Owners Podcast. You can follow John at JBanksFL. You can follow me at Tyler F. and Stone, Tyler EFF Iron Stone. Go to gymownersrevolution.com if you want to get in the Gear Academy, have us help you with your gym, your business, make sure your clients are successful and you make real money doing it. Get in the Gym Owners Revolution Facebook group. That link is in the show notes on your app that you're listening to the show on. Let's get started. So
old school Tyler was just running like all the marketing bullshit of like get more members, get more leads was will help you run your ads. And I think that still is probably the most common and most dominant thing that we see, which is just we'll run ads, you pay us for every lead acquired, It's $100 for every person that walks through the door. It's up to you to close them. Like that's still, I think that style of just it's lead generation to the most fundamental degree within paid social media advertising. I think that's it, right? Like
Yep.
that's where it starts. And the issue is, and we've hit the nail on this head multiple times, which is just it's when you start having people that you have to pay to run ads and their only job is to put people in front of you and get you leads, it ends up becoming where it's just now you're paying so many people, all of these middlemen, that you're going to go broke and you're going to get 3,000 leads and they're just dog shit leads. Right. So but the real nefarious shit outside of that has been when people start to say the phrase of like, no paid ads, like we're not going to do this.
Yep.
That's when you and our antennas are really starting to go up.
And now, because they say no paid ads, why is that, John? Why is that such a good hook? Because the paid ad shit is working a lot less than it fucking was before. This
Correct.
isn't ClickFunnels era fucking 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16 stuff here, right?
Mhm.
This is now, we're in the modern times where lots of people go, Facebook is pretty and I think I don't want it to be on there anymore. So now you're only getting, when you're running Facebook ads, who are you getting? The type of people that are on Facebook. So it becomes
Right.
lower and lower quality and has less and less reach in regards to the percentage of people that are within driving distance of your business. That's like I think that's the biggest thing is it's just less coverage now. Like it's like radio, right? I'm paying ads for radio and they're telling me lots of people are listening, but guess what? Nobody I fucking know listens to the goddamn radio. I don't know a single person that's in my circle on a regular basis who gets in their car and turns on the radio, let alone doing it in any sort of other capacity. So when you start running ads, they'll tell you it's not about conversions. It's no, look at it's impressions, right?
Mhm.
It's an old school fucking game of just changing the goalpost here. It's no, I want sales. Well, we're trying to get your brand out there. Getting your brand out there is we have X amount of people listen based on what? And Facebook does this with their ads, and they always have. We've warned you guys about this forever. Don't let anyone else tell you what metric is important to you. It's the biggest thing. Do not let any of these marketers, any of these ads runners tell you that reach is important or impressions is important. It's like in the end, if what you're trying to do is get leads, and even that fundamentally can be short-sighted. You want sales now.
Yep.
If you want sales and you're going to get some leads that aren't going to convert, that's fine. But if you say, I only want to prioritize leads, you're just going to get a pile of leads that don't really convert to sales. So be realistic about what your outcome you're trying to get is, and do not let anybody tell you we did good. 10,000 people saw this. Like, well, it didn't fucking bring a one into my business. It didn't make me $1. So fuck you is usually the approach that we use when it comes to that stuff. So Facebook is less and less and less effective. The ads, these propositions that are being made to you as gym owners via Facebook ads work so poorly right now that for the most part, gym owners are at their wits' end about it, which is now the new hook. The new hook for you guys is no ads, like straight up, no Facebook ads, no Facebook, none of this stuff. No paid ads is the hook. And what are they doing to get you bunches of leads from far away to help you? Like, what is this brilliant strategy? John, you know more about it than I do.
Well, we've started to identify where it's a combination of this. The best thing that I think we can describe it as is that it starts to feel like where we are starting to see some similarities where instead of it's organic, right? So organic marketing is now where most folks are going to go. And they're going to go in that direction because the ads, right, has the connotation that it does. So then it's about like, well, genuinely create connection. And you will start to see, and again, this isn't new. This is something that is old. So if we're saying these old strategies are actually coming from, well, what you need to do is you need to be able to create a Facebook group. You need to be able to create a community of people. And you need to be able to foster those people to be able to connect with you on, hey, get everybody outside, or be able to target it towards moms or target it towards whatever your demographic is. And you just want to be able to start getting people in and in and in into this group and into this community so that eventually, so now you control that. And then you're able to then start to slide your shit in of just in a real non-threatening way of like, hey, we have this offer, we have this opportunity. And now what you end up becoming is like these professional group managers. And what's crazy is that you and I have started to see this across multiple industries, but specifically on Facebook, where it's almost as though people that are commenting and saying that, "Oh yeah, I know these people," or "I'm a part of this," or "I've done this before,"
Yeah,
they're
dude.
they're not real. It's almost like the back in the day when you'd have a snake oil salesman show up, and they would show up to a town, and they
With
have
a
like
blind guy,
the
and all
miracle
of a sudden,
elixir, right?
yeah,
And all
yeah.
of a sudden now they're healed. And it's like, or oh, the best ones, not to dive too deep in the wrong direction, but right, Jim Jones, right,
Oh, yeah.
becomes a famous preacher and is with people and does amazing healings and is able to heal people and do amazing things because there are people that are in the congregation that are plants.
Yep.
And then everyone starts to feel and everyone starts to go in that direction. We all know what that looks like, whether you're selling a miracle elixir and someone says, well, I used this and all my hair grew back, or I did this and I
It's
had this happen. And
it's
it's
that snake oil thing, John, or the old fucking magician or comedian who's got a plant in the crowd, who's got to do that has existed for as long as sales and entertainment has existed. And this
correct.
is the concept that lies at the root of this: social proof. It's all it is. People are buying this, people are trying it, people like it, people like me are doing these things, right? That's what this means. Like, oh, I am this. So you'll see, John, I see this on products like expensive products, cheap products. Let's say I'm saying physical products. Okay.
Mhm.
You'll see this stuff where it's a product that, like, frankly, I don't, it's maybe way overpriced, or my first impression is nobody's buying it. Literally, it's like nobody would buy this, nobody would pay for this. And what are all of the comments in there are literally like just what you described. I
I got
am
mine.
a stay-at-home housewife, or I'm a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids, and I'm so happy to see this. I just ordered mine. So it goes from, I just ordered mine. Oh, this looks like it would work great for me. I just got mine, super fast shipping, right? Oh, I got it, just unpackaged. It's amazing. Or, and then I've had mine for a certain amount of time and it rules. And this stuff, they're peppered in all over the place.
Mhm.
But this is just saturated fake comments. This is,
It almost it feels like
it's
bots, right? It
it
almost
feels
feels
like
like
bots, and it might not even be. It might be someone just making an ask, right?
right.
Like, hey, I need you to do all this. Or it could literally be friends, moms, like it could be whatever. But if I have those 10 comments on there, this thing really will perform pretty well. So you can have everyone in your life go in and do that, I guess. And by the way, take the good things of this strategy and do use it. Okay. What is that other than a testimonial, right? What is that other than a good review? That's all
Mhm.
that really is. So you can, these are other ways that you can leverage your good relations. But if someone has actually worked with your gym or worked with you directly, and you make a post, be like, hey, I don't ask a ton, but like, I know I got Google review. Would you go in there and just share in the comments on that, like what your experience was? Somebody you know and trust, whatever. That's not disingenuous. It's not pushy. Ask the right person, not the wrong person. Like that's, I'm not opposed to that, but most of this isn't that. And we talked to some of these people that have, I mean, frankly, this has been in the gym consulting space for a very long time, which is start a Facebook group. Like you just said, start a Facebook group
Right.
in your community. This happens for lots of other businesses. I think you look at like mattress stores and shit like that. The anyways, so the franchise ones, some of them, their built-in strategy is start a pro business, like just high five and other businesses, positive business experience page, and just add all the businesses around, add everybody you know, get every, like just pump this page up, pump up everybody else's business, and then yours is just floated in there. But then you are also there as a social authority on what good business is in your town. It's very interesting. So, but I think that's exactly what all of those are. Frankly, that's what all of this. Now we're not doing paid ads. Okay. So what are you going to do? Is the service that these people are going to offer is to have a bunch of people with fake accounts come in and comment on my stuff and pump up my shit to give me engagement in Facebook group? that I have to create, or to simply get me into tons of other. Now I'm the guy in lots of Facebook groups and Facebook communities trying to hustle, but not really right away. You got to be in them for a while. Then you got to ask some questions. You got to give a little value. Every once in a while, maybe you don't say it yourself. You let someone in there go in and rave about you and your business, and then you can just confirm it. I don't hate that stuff if it's on the up and up. That's the problem, right? In reality, being engaged in your community, this is the second part. That's what's always the fundamental principle with this, John, right? First off, social proof matters. That's what we talked about before. The snake oil salesman, plants in the crowd.
Right.
Okay. The next thing about this is it's essentially just being a person in your community, being recognized, being likable, getting out there and being known for what you do. This is all just the fucking Facebook version of that. Be professionally a goddamn professional and do what you do and do it publicly and do it well and do it. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't hide it and hide from it. And that's not foreign. That's not some fucking brand new, brilliant strategy either. This is just this like disingenuous, kind of lame internet version of like when we had Austin on talking about like, no, I go in and I volunteer and I coach high school football. It's the same thing. What's the difference? That person's delivering real value and having real impact on real kids' lives. And you motherfuckers are going to get got by just getting in a goddamn Facebook group and thinking, this is my involvement. That sucks. It sucks. And I'm not opposed to those strategies. As long as you know what you're doing and be fucking real about it. But that's the tool that they're using. That's all they're
and if the strategy, if as you are hearing it, as you get pitched to it, let's say you do need help. Right? You do need help. And great, you're getting inundated with people that want to be able to help you. Like, God bless, we're everywhere. If you start to smell that the majority of the tactics and the strategies that they're going to give you, these tips and tricks and shortcuts to do this, and for the old school stuff, it's like swipe files. Who wants this email? And this email is guaranteed to get you 60 leads or whatever those things are. You get too many of those tips and tricks that do not involve anything that happens in real life. That has to be a red flag, right? That has to be the red flag for the sole reason that the tips and the tricks that you're being presented are at best 5 years old, more than likely a decade old. And the reason why that's relevant is that scammers, folks that are the pig butchering that's going on, all of these, the Cash App, the Cash App scam, once somebody hijacks your account and they tag 70 people that are your friends, and then they're posting photos that you've made all this money on Cash App and they need to text this. Like, the problem is, because those strategies do work, you now have bots and nefarious, like the African prince that has all this money that they want to give you, right? That's so 25 years ago. And so now it's so much more dangerous. And that's why it won't work. It won't work because now everyone is getting scammed. Text messages, DMs, everything you're going to fall into that wash.
It was so easy to scam people back then, like in the era of early email, when people just assumed that people that were communicating with you were probably telling you the truth or they weren't. That's just it. It's like, okay, I am choosing to believe this person. So when I was a kid, how old was I? Maybe like 10 years old. My grandparents, I think, I might have been a little older, maybe 12, had one of those very early car cell phones, right?
Yeah.
Like the bag phone and the thing, right? And so I was like, I'm going to try and call my parents, because they never, we didn't have caller ID back then. So I called them from the back, was just waiting in this car. And I called my parents and I pretended like I was someone from some sweepstakes.
Yeah.
And I pretended like they had won a cruise for 2. And I went through and legitimately my own parents flat out were fucking like, it was at the point where I was like, you guys are fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like I was on, and so I had to like break the thing completely, but like they flat out and not John, not a couple of minutes. It's like a 10-minute thing that I really drug out. And they were like really excited about it. Fucking morons. What are we doing here? But this is the thing. Everybody who could get got got by something early on. And
Right.
the ones who let their guard down got even worse. And sometimes you're just getting like there's a advertising and marketing is fundamentally manipulation. It is what it is. Frankly, every social interaction that's a connection, trying to connect with a person, talk with them, you're trying to deliver them a point and help them to think or feel a certain way. And so, like, but understand that's fundamentally it's manipulative. I'm trying to get you to do the thing. If you like this thing, I'm trying to get you to buy. If you don't know this thing, I'm trying to make sure you know this thing so that you like it, so that you buy it, right?
Because
I'm
every purchase is emotional.
every purchase. And so everybody who could got. And the internet continues to evolve and Facebook and their ad stuff now, like who of you guys out there are responding to a Facebook ad and like buying a thing from a Facebook ad? Very rarely. Like the brand has to kind of maybe have already been in your peripherals, like you have to engage in the content bunches of times. I cannot imagine buying one. Do you remember, John? You remember those shirts where it's like, uh, people named Tyler who were born in 1984, the coolest guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just these like
Yeah.
formulaic things, and then they
Oh,
would
yeah.
just run these print to order t-shirts, like the dumbest fonts, like a new font for every word, and they would market those to everybody on Facebook named Tyler. What
Tyler.
a brilliant targeting ad! And just there's a fair percentage of Tylers that are fucking morons that must have bought that shirt. It's
Mhm.
crazy, or wives of people named Tyler. Um, and that's, but everybody who could get got. And now people's guard is up. Like I was dumb before, I did it, I believed a thing before. Now they believe nothing. They really, truly, truly believe nothing. And these plants now, I do think that whether it's bots or whether it's people giving kind of fake engagement, review. By the way, review pumping has been a thing in Amazon for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I got one of those. I thought I didn't tell the story on here, did I? I got a fucking like a like a potato peeler. Just showed up in my mail from Amazon, said it was to me. And what happened is my address, I didn't order it. It's not ordered on my Amazon account at all, but my address somehow was leaked somehow somewhere. Not just mine because it's me, but it's a whole big batch of addresses that somebody bought somewhere. So this Amazon seller who was trying to get a bunch of reviews, it's called review, I think it's review pumping, it was called.
Yeah.
What they do is they send out that they go into other people, they create a bunch of Amazon accounts and they buy these products because you have to have verified reviews, verify that you bought it. And it means it has to be sold and tracked and delivered. So the thing shows up on my door from like China or something. This is like during COVID too. So I'm like, it was back when people were like getting weird packages of seeds. And then I was like, this is a fucking cyber attack or whatever. This is biological warfare. Uh, but I get this thing. I'm like, I didn't order it. It's not on my Amazon account, but it all looks like on the up and up, and I don't understand why. And I started looking into it. So they send all those out. People they buy them. They send them to have to send them to the people. So they basically just write that off as their marketing cost. But in return, they'll have 200 5-star reviews on this product. Which, if you're looking to buy one potato peeler versus another, and this person just opened their store and has one review, it's going to be tough to compete with the other, even if it is on price. It's just going to be tough for them to make any sales in their web store. So that is a strategy that's been around for a lot of years, and it's gotten pretty intense lately. But this is what they're doing when they're going into these comments and things like that, and they're just really, really, really engaging and pumping it up. It could all be totally fake. It could be totally bots. Um, it's my favorite like new conspiracy theory is the dead internet theory. There's a couple videos on YouTube if you want to check them out. It's kind of fun. But it's that theory is that the internet's not as big and vast and full of information as people think.
Mhm.
If you go to Google, so you search like, I don't know, search anything, search, and it's going to show you like we have 3 billion results. And John, you're going to see 5 things in the first 5 pages. Like you're not going to see hardly anything. And people have gone all the way through to the end. It's not even close to that many results. Like that number is just completely made up. And there's not that many articles. Like the blogosphere is gone. It's dried up. Like that doesn't really exist. A lot of that content's not there anymore because hosting those websites now takes money and there's not a lot of value in them. So the internet's just not, the theory is it's not as vast and engaged as people think. You and the people in your circle, like probably consume a lot of the same shit. This is why you get sent memes that you've already seen before from people all the
Correct.
time. Reels from the same 10 people, and you've seen 4 of them, all the time. So I think there is some truth to that, right? Facebook is not as big and powerful as people think it is. That I believe to be true. It doesn't have the reach. It's not that impactful to your business. Every year Facebook represents a smaller and smaller sector of your market. That's the truth. Same with Instagram. So it's not like you have to abandon those tools or those platforms, but you need to understand that you can't be in a fake community on Facebook that you made to like market your shit, to create a bunch of fake engagement or run ads. You can, but know that pie of that game that you're playing in, that pool you're wading in, gets smaller and smaller and smaller and shallower and shallower. So you can't just do fake community stuff. You probably need to also do some real community stuff. Probably need to take the concepts that drive these strategies and make these successful and apply them in real life. Give that a fucking shot.
What and where are these great ideas coming from, Tyler? Like when you think about like these amazing marketing ideas that you could use that involve all of this like ninja level behind the scenes they're from marketers.
Yeah.
They're not from people that are fulfilling an in-person product. And so that is where you're exactly right with the idea where like Facebook will, as you continue to be a business, it'll continue to matter less and less because, yeah, because you're not a digital product. You guys supply a service, an in-person service. And the more people you have come in, the more real humans you've interacted with, you've been successful with, and then the most valuable version of your marketing are people walking and talking about your fucking business in the streets. It's for me to try the New Mexican place in town, I'm going to check the Google reviews. I'm going to get a feel for what their menu is. I'm going to get a feel for what people's favorite shit is there. I now know once I go that I like that place. So I don't need to check their Google reviews again.
No, and what's also interesting too is it's on that same subject, John. Right? There's a new place in town you haven't been there, right? You haven't been there yet. Maybe you haven't even looked at Google reviews yet. A guy you know who's a friend of yours who knows your taste goes, John, fucking awesome.
Right.
Awesome. You got to go. That's all you would need to hear ever. Right. So that's what these Facebook hustles are doing. They're trying to do that with someone who's, I am a person who is like you. I like this product and bought this product and it is great. It's all it's fake and people are going to see through that. And I think the rise of social media specifically, as well as just generally digital products, like a digital product wasn't really a fucking thing, 30 years ago, right? But the rise of this digital space created a lot of marketers, John, a lot of marketers who don't deal with human beings at all.
Mhm.
And now, guess what? They're pivoting to the real fucking brick and mortar space, and they suck at it. So they make these big, vast claims because it's the best they can do to get you in. And they're going to try and sell you in a phone call, and they're going to do all this shit. But a bunch of marketers got too big for their britches, and the bottom dropped out, and it's just less valuable. Now they're trying to go at you, and they're going to use the same marketing tools and skills that made them successful in the digital space, and they're just going to fail on your behalf with your money. That's the biggest issue I see. A lot of them fucking suck and they just don't get it. Remember, I think the analogy I gave is the one I really would prefer for you guys to think of. It's a new restaurant in town. Your friend comes up and tells you it's dope. That's all you need to hear. Okay. Now, on the fulfillment side, I think this is also interesting. Because again, these people are marketing not knowing what your clients are, what they want, nor do they ever have to look them in the face. They don't know what quality of leads that are coming in. They don't know what your business is about, what it should be about, right? Which is the success of your clients. And even if we're getting bunches of leads and we want to make this about money, right? We got to eat. There's a concept within the businesses that we work with, like the money will come. You need to give everybody a very high likelihood of success, which means let them choose their path forward. Do they want regular gym access, 24-hour access, nutrition coaching, accountability, measurables, personal training, small groups? Whatever products you offer, they should be assembled in a way that gives somebody a choice to spend the most money on a premium product or the least on just an affordable base level product. When the relationship starts with that, where do you want to go?
Mhm.
That concept. What do you want to accomplish? What vehicle do you think will get you there? Here's what we offer. Let's go. That becomes now a system that is geared for success. But you cannot just be pushing and selling the most expensive thing, because we see it on the fulfillment side of these businesses. It still needs to be about them being successful. John, if I get 200 clients in the next 30 days, I don't know how I'm going to give all of them a good chance of success. Because I
It would
think
be
the best
it would be
success,
literally impossible.
yeah, it's a problem. And we've seen gym owners over the years, John. We've even built some very premium products, and we get excited when someone buys a premium product. It's good. It's a good sign that the system works. But the most expensive, most premium product is not necessarily the product you want to be selling the most of,
Well,
because it's not
'cause
going to be for everybody. And it's not just about the dollar amount. That's the problem. If John, we've helped gym owners sell, what was the biggest one? Like a $35,000 fitness package for one person,
yep,
right?
1 year
And we were excited
long.
about it. It's good, but it's a year long. It's a year commitment, and man, that's a lot. It is a
Hey, and
lot.
can we also say it paid up front?
Paid, by the yeah,
Please
paid in full. We
understand,
don't,
like,
yeah, I
it's
don't fuck around with any of that stuff. Yeah, paid in full.
no contract, like, we go hard at contracts for a reason. This is not a thing where they got a better deal because it's a monthly payment. It's like, no, paid up front, someone throws money down, and this is the most dangerous, right? It's like
Yes.
one of the most dangerous things for you guys to learn, up and coming personal trainers, gym owners. If you have something that's expensive, if you don't are not careful with what those guardrails are, you are going to have such a problem in
One.
about 8 weeks.
8 weeks is about where it gets at, to 8 if you're lucky. Now, and that's the issue. That product can't just sound good. It's got to be good, and the people involved in it got to be really fucking good. Because it was like, I think it was like 35, wasn't it? Like 30.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
over
like
30.
three grand a month, something like this. So it was like was what it kind of break down to. But this was a situation where you had to be very hands-on, very thorough. You have to know this is a long, ongoing relate. Like, this isn't the thing where you go, great, now you're in it to win it. No, there's a person that is reaching out to this person. There's people that are coaching them throughout the week. There is other services that were baked into this, from massage or whatever. There are systems and structures. This all needs to be easy. This is the fucking Cadillac version. This is a lot, and it should be worth it. And if you drop the ball, or the worst thing is you go, yes, big sale, fuck yeah, dude. This is the problem, because there's a concept within fitness that I think is very important. You only eat when you're selling. Fulfilling, you're always doing. So you can't just fulfill and then run out and realize, oh shit, I forgot to sell. I spent all the money I earned before, and then shit, this client is done or moves away, and now fuck, I have to start marketing to try to sell now. That sucks. It's even worse getting a bunch of money up front, blowing it all, and then being very concerned about fulfilling it especially with, like, what if this motherfucker asks for the money back? Like, what does this go? What if he doesn't like it? What if we have a meltdown or we don't get along? This every extra, what's the word? Every 1x or 2x, every time the price doubles, right, of a
Mhm.
product, your fucking risk really doubles as a business owner if you aren't successful with this, if it doesn't go well. Someone's spending 50, 60, or $100 a month with you, and they have a bad experience, or it doesn't work. Like, yeah, who cares? If it doesn't go well and they want to, who cares? Someone spends $35,000 with you in a year, and 3 months in, they don't like the coach and they feel like you failed to deliver it. You've got a problem. You got a big problem. And this is why when we see gym owners that get stoked about that price, about the big sale, we always have to help them. Okay, now we need to rein this back. Now, this is a big opportunity because you now need to deliver on this, and it can't be scrapped together. It's got to fucking rule. If you want to be able to sell this again, it's got to be awesome. And we see, I had a recent situation where, this isn't me or anyone that I'm directly associated with, but somebody, new personal trainer, got a fucking big sale, like $5,000 deal or something like this. And the owner and the trainer were so excited about, one, they charged more per hour than they had ever charged before, which is great. Value your stuff. And they put a big ticket offer in front of somebody, and that person took it. Except I never heard neither the gym owner nor the coach, who were both so excited about the dollar amount. I've never seen anybody buy that much. Blah, 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 blah. John, this program is like 5 days a week for like fucking 6 months or some shit. And it's like, you're never going to coach somebody 5 days a week for that amount of time. Like, you don't know this person. And what frustrates me even worse, it's not that that relationship isn't viable. It's that when these people were bragging about this situation, nobody said anything about who this client was to me, like what they're trying to do, like what they're going to help them to do. It was nothing. They talked about this like the client didn't fucking exist. And guess what, John? Like a few weeks into this arrangement, and this client is postponed or not been able to make like fucking, I think like more than half of the sessions. So if this does go through all the way through, it's going to take a fucking year
Yeah, way over.
before you're done. And you're always juggling your schedule with this stuff. That's a problem. You better have policies in place for that. And even worse, I think there's already rumblings that this person's going to ask for their fucking money back. All that money's already spent by both parties. So this is a fucking problem. And this is what happens when you get very fired up about a sale and you don't give a fuck about the client. Like none.
Because
And I can tell you this every single time, me and my wife specifically both, when we take on a new client, especially one that commits big time, John, you've heard me on our calls fired up about the people I get within my program, right?
yeah,
Fired up. Like that's my thing. It's not that I just made a sale. It's this guy's like 300 pounds, but he's on it. Like, right. It's that these are the conversations I have. The terms I would say, he's ready. He's actually there. Or my concern, or I'll say my concerns. My concerns are, I don't know if they're quite really there yet. Like we got to get him over because but it is truly an assessment of this client's pathway forward to being successful. I can be pumped about a $4,000 or $5,000 sale, but I better be very pumped about what that is going to do for that person. And when you're not, it's very fucking obvious, and those relationships dry up very quickly. And that's the biggest. This is a big problem within coaching. Is like, we made the big sale, and then you just fucking under deliver, and it all wilts away. Like if someone spends $5,000 with you, like up front, dude, you should change that fucking person's life, and that should be your real thing. You should really, really, really be equipped to do it too. And that person who is invested at that level should be really fired up, like really fired up about it. And everyone about it should be. And when your system is not based on client success, it's based on just extracting money. That's what happens. Now you extracted too much money. You don't have the ability to, you have the ability to fulfill, but not in a way that's going to be impactful to this person or good. And guess what's going to happen? Problems, lots and lots of problems.
it's a fine line, right? Everything you just described, it is the dollar amount is not the problem. The problem is how it was offered, how that offer got structured was not optimized for the person to have success. And we can
Correct.
say that we can be that black and white about it because there are certain pieces that we've put in place. If you're going to build huge monster offers for someone to be able to buy and have the potential to buy, the dollar amount cannot be what's most important. Now, I'm all for packing as much value and as much shit into a thing to make it as expensive as possible. I love the idea of a premium offer being over $10,000 that someone can see with their eyes, see what actually is entailed in that diamond plus platinum level, so they can
And
see what does a $10,000 offer look like, right? But here's some fundamentals that are missed. You cannot, with good conscience, say that you are optimizing someone to have success and have that offer be greater than 12 weeks. And the reason why I feel so confident about saying that is there's fundamental psychology. Humans they cannot maintain whatever their focus is much further beyond 100, 12 weeks. Those numbers, they start to become increasingly important. That has nothing to do with fitness, has nothing to do with what their goals are. It has to do with the ability to stay locked in. And
do you also know one of the things about this arrangement that was the most glaring in my eyes, John, is 5 days a week. Now, that's thing one.
100%.
That's already a bit of a problem. But if someone needs the accountability to come in, okay. But just know, like you are going to be paying for me to hang out with you while we stretch and get on the bike or treadmill a little bit on some of those sessions. It's just what it's going to be. We're not gonna, what am I going to do? Crush you 5 days a week? But the worst part is, John, this client lives 40 minutes away. So you're telling me we took all this money up front, And it's going to be 5 days a week, not some practical, fucking approachable dose that makes sense, that's going to work because we coach humans and humans have lives and we care about these humans and integrating fitness, wellness, and health into their lives. No, we took as much money as we possibly could. We got as many sessions a week as we possibly, even if they said, John, I get people who talk to me about, should I train twice a day? I'm like, no, are you fucking stupid? That's what I say. Should I train every day? No, are you fucking stupid? No, you shouldn't. And if someone comes to me and says, want to pay me 5 days a week, I don't want to see you 5 days a week, for one. And two, by the time you cancel on a few of those because it just doesn't work straight up Monday through Friday, you fucking crazy. Add that to that commute. And this person was never, ever, ever going to do this. That's the problem. Is as soon as I hear it, I'm trying to be nice, but I'm like, this is never going to happen. And it literally, by the end of the first week, there's like a more than 50% session cancel rate on this thing. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you?
I want to know, right? I want to know anyone that says somebody needs to be personal training with a personal trainer 5 days a week. I want to know why. Explain to me why. Why does that person need that?
This is also a new trainer who doesn't know.
No doubt.
Very educated, but has not coached any people. And this is exactly how this ends up, is somebody who doesn't understand that you're coaching a person. And that person has to detach from their work and their family and their lives and come to do this thing with you. And to do that so frequently is insane.
Tyler, if I come to you and say, Tyler, I think I want to train 2 days a week. I want to train twice a day. I want to pull 2 a days and possibly triples.
Okay. How many days a week is that?
Let's say it's three to 4 days a week. The real question that you're going to ask me is, John, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why do you feel this way? Because if I tell you, well, actually, I'm getting ready because I'm going to do a bodybuilding competition or whatever it is, like, it's like, oh, okay, well, now we've completely changed how we view this. But if all you see are the dollar signs, which is, well, awesome, I get this much money for 3 days a week and I get this much money for 5. But man, if it's 10 sessions a week, oh my God, like this is the most money I've ever seen.
Exactly. And that person should, either you or this other theoretical person. What happens when someone comes to me and says they want to train 5 days a week at all, and they want to pay me to be there? So I don't want to see you I'll literally say, I don't want to see you 5 days a week. That's stupid. Okay. Thing one, literally, I'll tell you to your face, that's stupid. I don't want to see you 5 days a week. If you want to exercise 5 days a week, that's great.
Yep.
2 of those days, I want you to walk one of those days, jog or bike on another, 20 to 40 minutes. That's it. Don't fucking pay me. I don't want to come and stand next to you while you walk on the goddamn treadmill. I don't want to wander around and ignore you and just chat with other people in the gym while I hang out there to make sure you're there either. Okay. So if you want me to tell you that I'll coach you 3 days a week and those other 2 days, you're going to go do the thing I tell you to do matter of fact, I won't even charge you for me telling you what conditioning or cardio you should do.
Right.
That's how I'm going to build that, because that's a system now that works for that person. And that way, if they're going to fall off of something, they'll fall off on those cardio sessions. I couldn't make it perfect. Skip that and we'll see on this. Like, that's how this has to work. But this is what happens when people who are outside of the industry, marketers, salespeople. I've seen now there's some new stuff coming in where there's services offering, like, we'll just handle your sales altogether. We'll close your leads for you. Right. John, we almost contemplated doing that for gym owners at one point.
We sure did.
But it's like, I need to know the coaches, and you know what they're like. I need to know what they want to do. I need to know this person and the lead. I need to know who they are, what they're trying to accomplish, and who to pair them with, or whether this is right or wrong, whether they are crazy, whether this gym is a right fit. And you just cannot do that if you're just taking money from people. I'll take whatever amount of money they can give with no thought going into it. We build our offer stacks, John, for the success of the client. And in that process, from the top option to the bottom option, somewhere in there is something that fits their idea of value and how that aligns with their goals and the services that they think they need to help them reach their goals. And they're going to pick, and that will also be optimized for making us good money in the process. But I cannot just make the most money while giving my people the lowest chance of success. Just the lowest. It's better than nothing, kind of, but not really, because what's going to happen is when those deals dry up, they don't like us. They don't like the gym. It was a bad experience. Either had to basically rake the money back out of you, or even worse, they just bail and have a bad taste. They certainly ain't coming back to your gym, and they certainly ain't coming back to you as a coach. So did you really help them? That if this deal dries up halfway through, this person will never set foot in this gym again. Now, did you help them in the long run? No. No. So these
For
people have to
me,
learn this lesson the hard way. And these are new coaches and these are people that are new to a new way of kind of like
they're gonna learn.
trying to make your business give a fuck, about people truly, not just like taking the money and letting the people that don't come in not come in and just keep closing, keep closing, keep closing. I'm fine if we're closing $50 deals. If you want to just close $50 deals and we want to let tons and tons of people, 90% of our people not set foot in our gym and you're a 24-hour gym, that model is fine. I get it. That's fine. But then don't complain because you can't sell big tickets. And then when you sell big tickets, don't complain because it doesn't fucking work out because it's not a you can't put a big ticket price on a system that is offering low value.
Can we talk about it like this type of thing? Hearing you talk about this makes me think the most effective dose, right?
Mm,
The most effective dose becomes very important. So let's say we sell drugs
yep.
and we're going to sell drugs to somebody.
We should
Somebody
start.
comes to me. What's that? Well, if we
We
need
should
more money,
start.
this is another option, right? So this is how you sell drugs and keep people hooked for the longest amount of time so you can make the most amount of money. This would be a good reel. All right. So the first thing you do is somebody comes to you and says, I need this. You cannot sell them shit to take as much as that they think that they want or that they think that they're going to take. If you give them too much, they die and you lose a customer. So if you're going to allow someone to be a personal trainer, a client of yours, and you're going to give them a dose of 5 days a week, you will kill that person. You'll kill the relationship. And just like you said, it will shrivel up and they'll die and they'll be gone. But if you give them the most effective dose, you can get them for 3 days a week, 2 days a week, whatever it is. And you can get them not just for that initial 12 weeks, or for our example, you've beaten them to death. They can't make it. They're not showing up and now they're gone. And now you're going to go through the nightmare of having to try and get the money back and all this other shit. And you didn't even get past the 6-week mark. If you do this right, you can have a client for a long fucking
Yeah.
time because
Because then
now
they'll
they're
actually
hooked.
and they'll be successful. That's the problem.
Exactly.
It's built to be successful. Once people start canceling on me bunches of times, I know it's over. I just know. Like I'll give somebody being sick, but you'll get like a week. Anytime outside of that, if it's inconvenience or it's not working out with your life or you're having a hard time making it or whatever, like I know at that moment you're done. Like it's a conversation where I go, you need to fix this situation. Like you're whatever you're telling me, I'm not buying. Like this is when people are incapable of talking about the reality of what this next phase is for them. When someone buys a product like that or buys a big ticket product, you better very thoroughly explain to them what you expect out of them. And just fundamentally, it's like, you're going to train 5 days a week with me. I go, what the fuck do you think you're doing? I said, if you're going to train 5 days a week, you understand you need to leave your house at this time to be here at this time in the morning, right? You know, that's crazy, right? You live how far away? Holy shit. I don't believe that you're going to do that. I would like to find something that's more convenient than you because the biggest thing about fitness, nutrition, all of it is integration into their lives.
Correct.
And you cannot just take money from somebody and hope that that is the only factor at play in convincing them to integrate this fully into their life. The system itself needs to be able to be integrated, and people don't do that. So they either take the money and fucking run, or they just make no good sales, frankly. And you have a system that just doesn't help people succeed. And then that's where gyms get real stale under just a commoditized service. It sucks too.
The number one reason why somebody chooses the gym.
It's close.
How close it is to where I work, how close it is to where I live.
Yeah.
How successful are people when it comes to nutrition? How close are Oreos in my house?
Yeah.
Are the Oreos in the house? If they are, then my nutrition plan is fucked. If they're not in the house,
If anyone tells you that rice is a better eating experience than Oreos, they're a fucking idiot. Oreos fucking rule. So
right?
like we just have to integrate. We can't always have everything that we want to have. And I'd love to have all my clients pay me for 10 sessions a week and I'll only fulfill 3 and who gives a shit and they'll just pay me money forever and who fucking cares. But that's not the game I'm going to play. By the way, there's other strategies you could use to buffer into this situation. Let's go through this, right? Because I do believe having, especially in personal training sessions, because we see it now a lot with some personal trainers we're having run continuously, is you need to have a buffer in when they lose these sessions. It's tough to have that conversation, and you do need to be reasonable about what your deadline is. But let's just say I'm selling 12 weeks at 3 times a week. That's 36 sessions, right? Someone is entitled to go on vacation. I believe they're fine. And I there's nothing I hate more than when somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I'd love to start, but like in a month I got to go out of town for work for like 5 or 6 days. So I'll just not do fuck all until after that." It's
Yeah,
like,
I'll
wow,
wait till I get back.
yeah, it's like, okay, well, and I just assume that that's not really the reason, and I let it die. The hard Hormozy sales people of the world would be like, well, I mean, I think you should. Well, you're just going to get fat for another week. What are you trying to fucking die of diabetes before then? But I let that conversation be what it is. But if someone says like, hey, we're going to do 12 weeks, 3 times a week, I would build it in. I would probably give somebody a 2, maybe 3 week grace period. Maybe at the latest 3. And I think that that's a conversation that needs to be had in the beginning, not trapped in contract language either. It needs to be, and do what you will with cancellations. I usually give people 1 or 2 cancellations that are short notice, usually 1 for sure. Like they woke up, they're sick, right? Kid thing, whatever, flat tire shit. I'll always give them 1 and I won't charge them for it. It's whatever. Anything beyond that is kind of up to you and kind of how you have to treat the person. The person's
Right.
good and it's whatever, but I have some clients that their shit kind of gets drug on a little bit, and it's a good time slot, and they cancel a
Mhm.
lot, and I'm not always punishing them for it financially, and it turns into a situation where a lot of 5, 6 week arrangements are taking 8, 10 weeks to get done. Well, now I'm just making less money. You know what I'm saying? That becomes a bit of an issue. So on a 12-week deal, say you have until 15 weeks to finish this or 14 weeks to get through this, or else it's all over. Okay. And also, like, I'm not required to reschedule you either. That's the biggest one, too. Cause, like, Megan, like, her schedule's full. So if someone cancels on a morning, it's like, oh, can I just get in the afternoon later on in the day? She's like, no. And that doesn't mean that you get this session either. It's just, it can't always be that way. Like, you may lose it just because I'm not willing to put you at a time slot that is good for you after you've already canceled. Like, I'm not willing to reschedule into something that's convenient for you that's inconvenient for me. Just because it's open doesn't mean it's yours. You had one and you fucked it up. So, but those types of conversations do need to be had, because that's also, what does that also ensure? The success of the client. Okay.
Right.
If we're going to do 5 days a week, know that if you do not fulfill and by X amount of time, you lose all of this money. So if you want to fuck off and cancel half, like, I'm telling you, this is the warning for thinking you want to train 5 days a week, is I think you won't. I think the commute's too tough. I think we're going to do a lot of ineffective training.
Mhm.
Frankly, we're just going to be kind of moving. I think that that's probably not the best use of our time and your money. But if you want to do that, just so you know, you start canceling, you do the stuff, you do lose this money by then. So we can take it or leave it, I guess. By the way, wouldn't you rather just have it be like 2/5 as longer?
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just be like 40% longer and then just go 3 times a week. I'd be okay with that arrangement. Instead of 12 weeks, we go perfect. Let's go 15 weeks, right? Or
Right.
16 weeks or whatever. I don't know the math. I'm
Yeah.
Catholic school math. But that is that's a more that is an option that a mature coach, and maybe that's just the issue, that a mature, experienced personal trainer would do. I'm not doing 5 days a week for 12 weeks or whatever. Let's do 5 days. Let's do 3 days a week for 16. Let's just do that,
Because
because this will actually work. This other shit, you're just really heaving and flailing. You're making a big emotional decision, and I'm not going to capitalize on you making a crazy emotional decision by just taking your money for something that's not going to work out for either of us. It's disingenuous. It's bad business. It's unethical as a coach. Now, I truly believe this coach had no fucking idea what
right.
they were getting into, because there's just naivety is fucking as intense as stupidity with some people, and it's just as damaging. So they can often be misconstrued as the same thing. And so I think the person just didn't know, just had no fucking clue. But when I'm getting high, we're coming out like high fives from coach and the owner about this big sale, and I'm listening to them talk about everything but the client, and I was like, okay, guys, we're gonna see. I hope for the best, but you don't. That's the problem. You guys don't. And that's what's frustrating. So I feel bad for the person
Yeah.
more than anything else. I feel bad for that person, because it was never about them. It was about their wallet from the very
There's
beginning.
another there's another psychological element that we haven't touched on yet. which is you hit on it earlier, and it's a really good phrase. So I want to repeat it again. The idea that it's fulfilling is what you always do, but selling is how you eat, right? That phrase. The psychological component is that once you make a sale, you now have to fulfill. And when you are
For free.
fulfilling, right. Yeah, like
That's
the
the way I
sale
look at it all too.
happens.
Sale happens, I'm paid, buddy. But the rest
And
now is
when
like shit.
right. And it's like, God damn it. So now I got to fulfill. And anyone that has closed deals that are 4, 8, 12 weeks long, whatever, and you get paid up front, you got to understand, like you're now psychologically, it's not right, right? Literally, it's not right. You've been paid, but now you're working for free. But there's another psychological component that's dangerous, which is when you're busy, you don't feel like you're busy. So in your brain, you're no longer selling because now you're busy fulfilling. And we have seen this mistake happen so many times with either gym owners that are selling their time or personal trainers or coaches that then they make a sale, they get some clients, and then they stop selling completely because they're busy fulfilling. And the problem is that when that relationship ends, especially if you're doing personal training, you're just not going to get somebody to want to one up can afford to pay one-on-one personal training forever. So eventually that will stop. And if you don't start selling or you aren't actively selling until you lose that slot, you're fucked because the ramp up time it takes to get a new client. So you have to avoid, and this is one of the biggest issues for gym owners. You have a business to run. If you are only interested in coaching and fulfilling on that coaching, you're not a fucking gym owner. Gym owners have so much other shit to worry about. And that's the issue we see with most of their businesses, which is you just like to coach and you didn't want to have a boss and you wanted to be the man. And so you wanted to coach for a living. And now you own a gym and now you're neglecting all of the business side. And the issue is that you're cutting your throat on your time because now your schedule is full. And now you're no longer working on all the things that need to be worked on.
I also think missing that concept, right? It's like the selling's how you eat, fulfilling is what you always got to do, right? When you're busy, you feel like you can't keep selling because you're afraid of fulfilling, right? That's the whole thing. That is what makes gym owners susceptible to these fucking 100 members and whatever amount of time stuff because you waited too long. You didn't build, you didn't constantly, by the way, when you're full, here's the short-term strategy for this, by the way. When you're full, still market like you're open. And then the call to action is to get on your waiting list.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing because this is how you can have some of this stuff queued up so that instead of going to a dead stop and you go, oh shit, I lost client A, client B, client C, these other relationships are done. I haven't been making the push to sell. I haven't been bringing in new people. I haven't been acquiring new leads, acquiring new members. Then they go, fuck. And then you're going to fall susceptible to some of these scammy bullshit that's going to, our new AI strategy is going to get you 75 members this month. Okay. Well, when you're flailing around and desperate and trying to latch onto something as the Titanic is going down, you're going to grab onto whatever you can. And fuck it. That says it'll give me what I need, before Rose kicks you off the fucking door. Right. But I think that failing to drive to sell when they are busy is the thing that like gets a lot of these gyms in this. This cycle needs to be constantly building momentum or else it just gets to a dead stop. And man, does it take a long time to fucking wind that up and a lot of effort before you get one back in. And it takes, I've seen it, I've done it personally. My wife has done it. We've had coaches that we work with directly and gyms that go full, we're full. I couldn't even imagine taking anybody on and they don't market. It's the biggest thing I see. They go, we're good. We sit back. And I see gym owners and trainers that aren't actively making content and actively trying to sell. And all of a sudden they do these massive pushes, right? I do it too. If you ever see me really pumping my Dudes Rock program out there, it's like, oh shit, I kind of forgot about that now. You know what I mean? It's like, shit, I need to be pumping. I should be pumping it constantly because every single time I'm turning it on, I am getting leads and people inquiring. They may not all be selling, but that's not how it goes. You're not going to convert everybody, but you should constantly have this flow of people in. So that's all we got today, guys. Thanks for listening. It's been a good hour. Go to the gymownersrevolution.com. Get in the Gym Owners Revolution Facebook group. Links in the show notes. Follow the show at Gym Owners Podcast on Instagram. Follow me at Tyler F. and Stone, Tyler EFF and Stone. And John?
You can follow me on Instagram at JBanksFL.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We will see you next week.